This is the Surly Grognards for May 15th? May 11th? Yes, May 11th, 2015. This is Peter Bowman, and as always, I'm joined by my good friend and co-host, Eric Carlson. How are you doing tonight, Eric?
I'm doing better now. I have a glass of scotch in my hand.
Definitely an improvement in many, many ways, I would imagine. So, we have no specific topic this week, no small part due to the fact that I was a space cadet yesterday and completely forgot I was going to spend time coming up to something yesterday.
And I always forget that this exists until I have to do it. So...
And we've been doing this for like 2 years now, Eric.
Yeah, I know. I'm just not very good at remembering things.
Yeah, I know.
And my perception of time is really just limited to the numbers I have to write on the sticker for my job.
Alright, so... Anyways... We're gonna sort of just spend time talking about what's been going on for us gaming-wise over the past few weeks, months, or what have you. Since we really haven't talked about that. We've talked sort of in passing about it during other episodes, but we haven't really talked about specifically what we've been doing.
Right.
And where should we start? Well, we've got a new Saturday game going on.
Yes. Yeah, I'm really enjoying my character. I think he might be pulling a little bit of focus, at least in combat. But he's so much fun. It's so much fun throwing things at people.
Yes, so...
It's so much fun throwing people at other people.
So, we are doing a Champions campaign using 5th edition hero system. So it's a superhero game using the same setting I used for the Star City campaign because it's a setting I know and
We're
know
the
well.
B team.
Kinda,
This time
yeah.
we're the B team.
Kinda, yeah. So, yeah. It's Eric, Skitch, Word, Allison, and Alice is the players. We're doing it partially because Nick's work schedule has gotten in the way, so
Yeah.
he can't be there every Saturday, so for the Saturdays he can't be there, we're doing this.
Right. We're not doing the original cast because, well, let's face facts. Aaron was kind of the glue that held that team of lunatics together.
Yeah, kinda. He was sort of important. So, yeah.
Sort of the de facto leader and a bunch of guys who really weren't interested in being the leader. But yeah, we've got a new game. Where Skitch is playing the sort of long shot if he were a cop, and also sort of I get the impression he's doing sort of the long-suffering detective.
Yeah, to a certain degree.
Which is just an awesome trope. We're just doing Murder Maid. She's a maid with guns.
Yes, she
And
is.
totally just like an avatar of every action anime trope. Which is awesome.
Yeah.
Alice's character, I'm not sure what's going on with yet. She's a shapeshifter and suffers from panic attacks. Which seems like it could be a lot of fun, but I'm not sure where she's going with it yet. I'm actually interested to see where she's going with it, though. And then there's my jerk of a troll.
Yeah.
He's a big Norwegian troll who's cursed to be a good guy. And hates that fact. So, yeah, I'm basically playing the group Brick, and Champions does Bricks really well.
It does a lot. It does a lot of superhero types very well.
Yeah. But, learning that I can pick up someone and throw them in the same action just made my day.
Yeah, I have to admit, I adore Champion, the hero system combat system, especially for superheroic games. Because of the sheer variety of the way you can do things. And you really can simulate the insane lunacy of superhero combat.
Yes.
Like, Eric's troll picking up somebody and throwing him at somebody else. This is
so much fun!
It's completely supported by the rules. That's the sort of thing I absolutely adore. I love the system for a lot of different reasons, and that's one of them. That's
totally going to be my signature move, by the way.
I'm not surprised. I mean, it's a very crunchy mechanically system. definitively.
Oh, Jesus Christ, is it crunchy?
But the thing is,
it crunchy.
It's crunchy for a reason.
Yes, because it lets you pick people up and throw them at other people.
Yeah, well, it's crunchy because it's designed to allow you to do stuff to simulate basically whatever genre you want to do, and it achieves that about 90% of the time. It doesn't do sort of low, grim and gritty, street level like fantasy very well.
Right. As illustrated by our aborted attempts at that.
It actually that could have gone better. It's just that
But part of that was that Chris and I were just playing the absolute worst characters we've ever played.
There's
as people, our characters are just terrible.
Yes. Also, there's a definitive sort of enough of an experience gap between players that actually got a little bit in the way.
That is true.
Which happens sometimes. I mean,
which does happen.
It'll happen in any game, to be honest. But in a system as mechanically complex as Hero, that can be a real detriment, especially if one of the players is really feeling lost.
Yes. Which is a shame, because Hannah's character could have been a lot of fun, especially finding out that you can knock people into other people.
Yeah, well, I think again, it was one of those cases that I was trying to limit the mechanics, and the more experienced players, of which there were 2 in the group, were basically wanting to do that stuff, do the more complicated stuff.
Right.
Which meant that Hannah's sort of going, wait, what's going on? Because because they're explaining it in... They're not explaining it in the way that I would explain it to a new player, basically.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, I'm trying to limit things so that we are exposing everybody. We're going to get everybody in on the same foot.
Yeah, and part of the problem is that both Chris and Leland are terrible teachers. I mean, I'm a terrible teacher myself for a lot of the same reasons they are. But the difference is I don't try to teach people. I figured this out trying to train people at work. I'm terrible at teaching people new things.
I'm good at it in some ways and terrible at it in others.
Right. But Leland will dump too much information at once, and Chris will make assumptions as to the degree of your knowledge.
Right.
And I'm guilty of both of those things.
Right.
Which means I'm not even going to try.
Yeah, See, the problem is I'm actively aware of those being problems, and I'm aware I do that sometimes. So I try to adjust for it, but I also don't have a lot of patience when it comes to teaching.
Yeah, and neither do I.
Which is why I never got into education, because I know for a fact I would lose my mind trying to be a teacher.
God damn it, kid! Just solve for pi. What kind of pie?
That's actually I've had less problems with them and with the administration and the parents.
Yeah. No, I don't blame you there.
At any rate, though,
there's nothing more terrifying or more frustrating than a parent convinced as to their own righteousness.
Yeah,
having been on both ends of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, don't be a teacher unless you're willing to put up with that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we've only had one session of the new Heroes game so far, but I don't know. I thoroughly enjoyed the first session, despite somehow forgetting more about Hero than I learned the first time around.
Yeah, well, there are more. It being a super game, there are more options in there than normal.
Right.
The problem is that, like, as always, like, when the players come up, this is one of those things that happens in every game, but especially in Hero. Like, players keep coming with, like, I want to do X, and I'm like, okay, you could do that in Hero, but it's a very complicated thing, so I'm like, oh god.
Right.
Like, the number of times while helping Word build her character, she came up like, can I do this? I'm like, yes, but...
This is how you do that, and it's going to take me an hour to do the math. And that's my one complaint about the Hero system. It lets you do pretty much anything. Like, it's a remarkably flexible system, but holy crap is it complex, and I mean, necessarily so, because it lets you do anything, but holy crap is that a complex system. So making a character is a pain.
Making a character is much harder than actually playing the game.
Yes, absolutely.
And that's not always the case in RPGs. There are a lot of RPGs where making the characters really easy, and the system itself is really a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Heroes the other way around. It's like, okay, we've gotten through making the character, and oh wait, you mean I just rolled 3 dice 6 and it less than wait, this is easy. All right, how do I calculating damage? Okay, it's a little like this whole stun and body.
I roll this fistful of dice,
and I basically all right, and then I add that up, and that's how much stun. And for the body, it's 1's equals 0, 6 is equal to, and everything else equals 1. Okay, that's not that hard. Yeah, it really isn't. I do remember actually, this is sort of going to the hero system thing, being involved in a forum discussion, and I should use the term discussion with massive air quotes.
Well, it is an internet forum.
Yes. Where it was on the hero forums, and someone who's a big fan of Silver Age Sentinels, the now no longer in print superhero RPG for TriStat, which is the core system behind Big Eyes, Small Mouth, and other stuff.
Right.
And the guy was just like, he just could not comprehend like why Hero was the way it was, and was just convinced Silver Sentinel was better at everything, and Hero was stupid, and blah 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 blah. And it came to like we were talking about normal, like he's complaining about the normal damage thing. And people explain it to him. It's like, okay, so the stun damage is X and the body damage is Y. Well, what's the body damage for? Well, it means that the DAC could kill someone. So I mean I could stun someone to death? No. And he would not let that concept go.
Well, you could stun people to death in a lot of games.
Yeah, but he was locked on the concept that because it was a normal attack and a killing attack, and there's a difference between stun and body.
Right. And
that bothered him. The fact that there was 2 different hit points. That's so unrealistic. And it's like, A, it's superheroes. They're supposed to be unrealistic.
No one dresses like that in real life, except at cons. You know that.
But, you know, superheroes will routinely get beat up in ways that don't cause them actual physical, like, broken bones or bruised ribs or anything like that. Not because they're super tough, but because that's the way superhero combat works.
Yeah, like how many times has Superman punched Dr. Octopus in the head with, like, his super strength? By all rights,
0.
his head should have been halfway across New York.
I'm fairly certain 0 is the answer to that one, Eric.
No, not Superman, I'm sorry, Spider-Man. I got my red and blue characters mixed up.
I'm sitting going, Eric's going to get it eventually, I know it. He's going to catch what I'm correcting him on. At any rate, it's just stuff like that. Yeah, exactly. And so that's why there's a difference between normal attacks and killing attacks. And there's a difference between stun and body. Stun represents how much, you know, blunt force trauma you can take before you go, duh, thud, and not be, but not like, you know, not necessarily blunt force trauma, but, you know, it's not really representative of actual physical damage.
Yeah, you can punch the crap out of a boxer all day, but slide a knife between his ribs, and he's going to go down.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even just that, but I mean, like, it's you know, much like hit points in D&D, stun is somewhat abstracted.
As honestly most damage should be, unless you're going for like
a hyper-realistic,
hyper-simulationist game.
Right, and body represents actual physical damage.
Right.
And
which again is somewhat abstracted.
Yeah, but less so in Hero than it is in some other systems.
Yes, like, for example, hit points in D&D. Exactly.
At any rate. But yeah, he just could not let that go. The defenders of Silver Age Sentinels on the Hero, who popped on the Hero forums, were all infuriating. It was amazing, honestly. It's
Internet forums, you say?
There's nothing like someone who's defending their particular preferred property on the forums of another property.
Oh yeah.
It's like, what are you? Okay, most of us here are willing to acknowledge, yes, we accept the fact that you prefer Silver Age Sentinels. That's fine. Why are you preaching about it to us here?
Because it's better, and you should know that. Stop liking the thing I don't like.
Aha.
You know, internet logic.
Yeah, I know. I'm acutely aware. But yeah, it was definitely interesting. So that's been going on. But that's the new game that we've started, and I'm looking forward to doing the next session. That means at some point during the week I have to prepare the next scenario.
Right.
Because you know I have to that, being the game master and all.
It's going to be really funny is when we have to do a lot of social stuff, and my character's just going to be like, "Fuck that guy. We're trying to be diplomatic, so we should fuck him." You don't mean that literally, do you? No. We should kill and eat him. I'd like to kill and eat him.
Grog, why don't you just here, have a beer, sit down over there.
Okay. Grumble, 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 grumble.
Right. But yes.
Yeah, my character has like 0 social skills.
Yeah. Despite having the possibility of actually being not bad at them.
Yeah,
due to his high presence.
Not inclined to it.
Well, he's got a huge. Yeah, he's a troll. He's got he has a huge ability for. Like, we didn't specifically buy your presence for presence attacks only.
Right.
We could have.
But it's like intimidation and streetwise are both things he's actually good at.
Mm-hmm. And for good reasons.
Yeah.
But yeah, I also started up a new Iron Kingdoms game on Thursday with my Thursday crew, which are doing a pirate theme game.
Yar.
I think we've talked about it a little bit. The last adventure involved them being reverse press ganged, which amused the hell out of me.
How do you get reverse press ganged?
Well, it turns out that the port they had to dock in...
by the army and forced a foot slog?
No. Turns out the port they were in turned out there was a infernal cult that had started there under the guise of a Morrowind priest. And so what he'd been doing was luring in woe-begotten sailors to his church to his Morrowind church for prayers, come in, you'll feel better about yourself in the morning, and then proceeding to mind control them. And then, once they're mind controlled a bit, they lead them down to the dungeons where they would forcibly convert them.
Right. And mark their souls so that he doesn't get eaten by the infernals.
Yeah, well, yeah. So,
Infernalists are jerks in Iron Kingdoms.
They are. And he wasn't a very powerful infernalist, but he actually had made a deal with a fairly minor, a somewhat minor infernal, which I was very pleased with the way I ended up building him.
Right.
He ended up killing off one of his mook followers and to channel the infernal to come out and help. And so the infernal was this sort of somewhat oversized sort of human-like thing with this giant bone sword that dripped blood and such. And the way he worked mechanically is he had decent stats overall, but he basically whenever he did damage to an enemy, whenever he took damage himself, he gained blood points, which he could basically spend like focus, like a focuser could.
Oh, okay. So similar to how I did the Infernal in our game, only he ate souls.
Right. This guy basically, whenever he fed off blood, basically.
Right.
And he could intentionally wound himself once per round, cause himself D3 vitality points to gain a blood point.
Right.
They were basically, you could use them to either buy extra attacks, boost attacker damage rolls, or effectively walk it off.
Right.
To heal himself a little bit. It worked out neat mechanically. The problem is I couldn't roll to save my life with him, so he kind of went kerplink off Steambeard's armor. Joey is playing the pirate captain who is a arcane mechanic pirate who he basically, because he didn't really want to do a jack thing, and we didn't have access to the Iron Head, and the Iron Head really wouldn't work for what we were doing. Basically, let him, instead of taking the jack, I let him basically take a arcane turbine powered suit of steam armor. So it's basically full plate with an arcantic turbine and some runes. One of which is he's got effectively 5 rune points on it, effectively. And one of them is a custom one he came up with to make it so it doesn't just automatically sink when it falls into water.
Right. Nice.
So and it's nothing particularly oomphy, but it's useful and it's full plate. So.
Hooray! Yeah.
So he's got extremely good armor. So the demon's like, it hits hard, it hits really hard, and I'm like, and I hit you, and I roll a minimum for damage.
Oh.
I really want to save that blood points so he can villainous dodge on his next turn. Just, yeah, they're effectively feed points.
He's an infernal, so yeah,
It was neat. I didn't build him with. It was a minor one. I didn't build him with a life spiral or anything like that.
Okay.
He was supposed to be sort of minor. But the other thing is that while the demon was sort of there helping him and actively granting his boon to the faux priest, the faux priest had this sort of boon that basically increases armor. They killed and I forgot about that the way it worked. So they quote killed the infernal before the priest went down, and I'm like, okay. And so they attacked him again. It's like, oh, that barely hurts him. I'm like, wait, no, the demon's gone. The infernal's gone. That means his boon's gone. Oh crap! That drops his armor from 14 to 11.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's 3 points of armor, so you know.
And those 3 points are significant at where they are in the bell curve.
Yes, they are. It was fun. It was a good fight, and they're like, why is this thing not done? It's like, oh god, why? But yeah, so that was fun. That's it for in terms of new RPG stuff that's been going on.
Yeah,
with me.
I'm not currently involved in another RPG at the moment.
Right.
Yeah, it's just I haven't gotten around to it. I'd love to play in an Unleashed game at some point, but I don't know anyone that will run it. Sad as I'm probably the best suited to do so. Sad as I'm probably the best suited to do so. But I ran the last Iron Kingdoms game for our Tuesday crew, so screw that. Someone else can run it.
Yeah, you know, when I'm able to get back out reliably, I might consider that.
That would be kind of awesome. Although, don't expect me to haul all those books and miniatures all the way out to Malden every week.
I know, that's the problem I have.
Yeah.
As much as I want to run to Iron Kingdoms, I don't want to tote miniatures out that far either.
Yeah. And
so, yeah.
Yeah, no one in that apartment plays War Machine, so we can't fall back in their piles.
Well, we can probably kludge something.
Yeah, we could probably kludge something together with like buy a big pack of War Machine round bases and just sticky tack war.
Yeah, I was gonna say the blue tack and other miniatures to them. Yeah. But yeah, in terms of other gaming that's been going on, Eric and I have been doing a weekly, semi-weekly thing on Friday nights on stream here, which we've sort of quasi-dubbed Free-to-Play Friday, where we basically try out a different free-to-play MMO roughly every Friday. It's probably going to be every other Friday at some point, but we're doing it when we can do it, basically.
You know, yeah, whenever we get around to it, is basically what it boils down to.
And we've played 2 that both of us kind of like. One we both actually like.
Yeah.
Lotro was yes, we both actually like.
Lotro was good.
Yeah, we both like Lord of the Rings Online. We both sort of feel like Age of Conan sort of okay, I guess.
I liked it better than you did. Word fucking hated it.
Yep. And to be fair, I understand why she didn't.
She was very frustrated with the fact that it's not very colorblind friendly.
No, it's not merely very colorblind. It's horrendously colorblind and friendly. I actually sat there thinking about it and like, oh my god. If I was colorblind, wow.
I know that you can't see some colors, and some colors look like other colors when you're colorblind. But
mostly it's that like certain colors start to look mostly alike.
Yeah,
and their color choices were red, green. Almost everything were either some sort of combination of red, green, and purple, and blue.
Right.
Which are the 3 most common colors to be colorblind. So they all start blending into each other. So like that purple and the orange will look very similar.
Yeah.
And then they also because of the color choices for their map, they also tended to fade into the background. They didn't stand up very well on the map to begin with for someone who's not colorblind.
Yeah.
It's like they had like there was no contrast in any of the important flags and such like that in the game. Visually, the graphics of the game are great.
Yes,
the
gorgeous game. The animations are excellent. If a little silly when you jump.
Yep.
But having seen enough guys actually jump, yeah,
right.
That's how they jump.
People look actually kind of silly when they jump. It turns out. But yeah, like. It's you look at it and you're like, okay, like the character designs are usually very good. The landscape looks great. They make a lot of really cool sort of choices and everything. And then you sit there and you're like, okay, great. And now your color choices. Well, they're mostly for the landscape. It's great. For the characters, it's great. Why are you choosing these particular colors? They don't pop. You need to have the like mechanical text pop so people can see it and notice it easily.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
I didn't have any problems with it, but I guess my color sensitivity is pretty damn good because I've never had problems like that.
Right, but like honestly, like the choice of like the name tags for players. Why that was in that? I think it was they were green. Why would you choose green?
Well, particularly in a jungle.
That's my point. The second you walk anywhere where there's foliage, you're fucked.
I don't know. The green was certainly not a natural color green.
Yeah, but it's still going to be hard to notice against other greens.
I suppose, yeah. Like I said, it's not. That's the problem. I don't have that problem with color recognition at all.
Oh,
it's really tough for me to grok how other people can have issues with it. It's like, no,
Sure.
it's clearly an absolutely different green. Eric is like maybe one shade over, but it's clearly different.
Yeah, well, it's not even so that's that for me. It's if I casually look at something, like if I glance past it, it doesn't. It simply doesn't. There's no contrast. It doesn't pop. So if I'm not if I look at it directly and sort of stare at it, I'll see it fine. But if I'm out of the corner of my eye or casually glancing at it, there's no hope for me. I won't notice it. I have to actively look for. I had to actively look for like the quest markers on the maps, as opposed to having them just stand out.
Yeah, I think what they did is they had someone like me design the UI.
Probably.
Because it worked fine for me, and it all clicked. I could glance at it and see what was going on pretty easily.
Yeah.
But like if you're having an issue,
I wasn't really having an issue.
Absolutely being driven completely mad.
I wasn't really having an issue. I was like, I just had to go. Okay, where is it? There it is. Okay, good. Right. I got it now. I like with the World of Warcraft maps, for instance. I can like glance at it, and those big, thick yellow rings for marking where things are pop out.
Yeah. As
opposed to the thin purple arrows on the background, or the thin orange arrows, which was the worst ones. Because like the map is sort of looks like sort of vaguely parchmenty colored, and like some of the quest arrows are like a dark orange, and it's like, okay, if the arrows were thick, I'd notice them easily, but they're thin and so you don't have like a big thick direct blotch there to notice. It's just bad. It's bad design, is what it boils down to.
And yeah, I totally get that.
Right. Again, I totally get that. For some people, it's fine. It works beautiful. It works fine. But for a lot of people, it'll be hard to notice. But the third game we played, oh boy.
Oh, geez. That was actually the first one.
It's the first one we played. It's the first one we played. It was Forsaken World, which is a Korean MMO, published by Perfect World, which a few years ago...
All of which should be red flags. Korean MMO published by Perfect World.
Yeah. I played it a couple of years ago. And I played it a fair bit, actually. Like, if you look at my Steam profile, I've got like 40 hours on it. Now, some chunk of that was me just being idle, because that always happens in MMOs. I'll forget to log out for a while, or I'll sit there chatting with somebody on something like on the side. Right. So I'll be technically logged in, but won't be actively playing. So, but I still played it a fair bit for a while. And some of that was idle time crafting, if I remember correctly. It's basically, because crafting takes time because it's an MMO, and crafting a lot of it takes time.
Crafting is a time sink.
In some of them, not all of them. I miss you, City of Heroes. They understood everything. They understood how to make you not waste time on things that aren't fun. But anyways, but I played it, and it was a fairly straightforward sort of WoW clone when I played it. It wasn't a direct WoW clone, but you could see, you look at it where it is now, you could see how it could have been, right? It was somewhat grindy. It was slow. The combat was somewhat slower paced than World of Warcraft. But it was classic, hotbar skills, abilities, auto attack. You start auto attacking things if you're a melee or what have you, and you run around doing quests. And it was not very good then. I hated the fuck out of the character designs because they were fucking stupid. And then we came to it for this thing, and all of a sudden we were in this extremely long tutorial, which I'm not sure we finished. We finished the tutorial definitively, and we weren't done with the newbie area, and we were already level 30 when we stopped.
Yeah, we were just skyrocketing through there.
And we were
had not encountered anything even remotely a challenge.
Right.
I mean, not even remotely a challenge. I never noticed actually taking damage.
Yeah, I used my heal on myself. I was playing the healer class, supposedly. And I used it on myself once when I decided to solo one of the, quote, boss mobs in one of them, and wasn't really actively pushing it, my attack and stuff. And it dropped me to, like, maybe 50%. And I wasn't trying to, like, not to actually, like, kill it fast. I'm like, okay, so there's literally zero challenge here at all. Like, I'm normally not someone who says, oh god, a game must be challenging. Okay, I have to revise that statement. I need the game to make me at least pay attention to do stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't actually have to... I could have played that game, like, while painting miniatures and been just as effective.
Yeah, honestly. I could spend that reading a book, going through that part, what we went through in that.
Yeah. And yes, the tutorial in the newbie area, so it shouldn't be difficult. You should be... That should make you feel powerful enough, but at least, and engage you, and it managed to do neither.
It was amazing. It was just this constant ramp of, you get ridiculous power, you get ridiculous power, you get ridiculous power. It's like, okay, we leveled up again, what does this mean? Stuff, okay. We're never actually in any danger, we're murdering everything left and right, and the story is really fucking stupid. Also, the character design sucked.
That fucking dryad.
Oh my fucking god, that was the dumbest thing ever!
So, one of the first things that has you do is, okay, the airship you're on, it has airships, so plus, crashes. Right. You end up in this, like, glen. So, like, okay, we got a bunch of wounded people that are in danger of dying or being crippled. So, well, we have a wounded griffin, and griffin blood is a curative. So we'll kill the griffin and use its blood to treat our wounded compatriots. Some fucking dryad shows up and goes, no, don't kill the griffin! It's forbidden to kill things here! What? But I've got people dying over here, and, you know, the griffin's already wounded, and does it have any more of a right to live than your friends? Yes! Yes, my friends have more of a right to live than the fucking griffin because they're sapient. And I will eat the griffin after I've used the blood.
Now, had the dryad, you could handle this in a different way, to have these sort of, you know, nature protecting all protecting animal life dryad come up and say, oh, yes, I'm aware that griffin blood has curative properties. I prefer you didn't kill the griffin, though, because I can save the griffin, and I know of these plants that will help heal your friends so you won't need to do it.
Yeah. As opposed to, like, jumping down my throat like a frenzied PETA activist.
It was amazing. It's like, why not lead with the alternate option? As opposed to saying, you know, doing all this stuff, pointing out it, trying to guilt trip us and saying, oh, by the way, if you really need to heal your friends, I happen to know these plants will probably help. I guess if you need to heal your friends.
I guess. If you want to, like, completely go against nature's intentions for them. Fuck you, Dryad.
What about the wounded griffin? It's the nature's intention for it is it's probably going to die, right?
No, I'm going to heal the griffin because... Shut up. Dryad, you know, I'm pretty sure dryad intestines are also a curative.
Sadly, we'll never find out.
Anyway, what I'm saying is that dryad just was, like, the worst aspects of, like, sanctimonious hippie bullshit that I've ever run into. And here's the thing. Generally, I like hippies and agree with a lot of the things they say. But, my God, that thing pushed my buttons.
It's just like, no, shut up. You're, like, the worst. I think that was partially intentional, I think.
I can only hope so.
I'm guessing that's the translators taking a dig at the PETA types.
Yeah.
I think. but I'm not sure, and that's
really
worrisome.
pushed my buttons, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, and it's just like all the design choices are like, okay, technically this is pretty, but you know, it needs some variety.
Yeah, if I'm not even out of the newbie area, I'm already wearing armor that looks like freaking like super mega epic. Like the only thing it was missing was the freaking like chaos storm of particle effects.
Yeah, like my outfit in that game was like ridiculous.
Yeah, I didn't mind the tanking outfit in that. It had certain aspects I liked, but it was a way too ornate for such a for my own aesthetics. I don't like things being that ornate in general. And
also, we were in the newbie areas. What the fuck? Why are we looking like, you know, epic level gear in World of Warcraft? I don't get it.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
I know why. Please play our game!
Yeah, no shit. Like I said, all I was missing was the friggin' chaos storm of particle effects.
I know. It's not a good game. Let's just be... we didn't like it at all, let's just say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we're going to keep
you
doing
dig
this.
It, cool, that's good for you, but it left a sour taste in my mouth. Not the good kind of sour.
No, it was sort of like bile.
Yeah.
I detest it. As I said, I'm astonished at how far the game fell, because it was actually a playable game at one point. It was not good then. It was bad then. But it was still a game. I don't even call this a game anymore. This was just an exercise in time wasting.
Yeah.
Ugh. Other stuff that we've been up to, though. Let's see. Well, I've been playing a lot of Skyrim.
That you have.
Someone was kind enough to buy me the expansion, the two DLC packs I didn't have, which were Dragonborn and Dawnguard. So I've been playing through the Dawnguard stuff with my my Kaji thief.
Yeah, every once in a while I think about starting up Skyrim again, because I really do enjoy that game. But then there was the whole like Modgate bullshit, and I was just like, you know what?
It's gone. They reverted.
I know it's gone, but it still left us out. It's going to take a couple months before I get over that.
I don't know. I actually kind of approve. I'm kind of happy the way it went. Basically, the way I kind of expected it to. They introduced the idea. Everybody, all the consumers hated it, and Valve said, "Well, crap, that didn't go over well."
All the consumers hated it. 90% of the mods hated it.
Yeah, 90% of the modders hated it. Valve said, "Yep, right. We're reversing this one because everybody hates it. Because we're not fucking stupid."
Not only did everyone hate it, but like the obvious abuses immediately jumped to the surface, and Valve was like, "Oh fuck!"
Right,
It's taken them a little while to figure that one out.
Yeah, this can be easily abused too. Yeah, we're nope, done. We want to. It's like we wanted to. I like their sort of thing about we wanted to be able to make sure that modders could get like rewarded for their work monetarily, and I'm like, I appreciate that. I totally do.
I appreciate that also. I think that's a great idea. Unfortunately,
your model was awful.
The model was awful. There was such a giant pile of what's the word I'm looking for? Of legal issues. Like,
oh my god!
Like the IP weirdness involved with that. Like,
oh my god!
I don't know much about intellectual property law, but I know enough to know that was breaking all of them.
I'm not sure it was actually, strictly speaking, breaking them, but it was putting people in. It was putting people in a position where they could end up doing so.
Yeah.
Well, technically speaking, modding in and of itself is questionable under IP laws.
Falls under fair use because you're not getting any
kinda. That's actually debatable. To be totally honest, because
I've heard like GTA has been coming down like a hammer.
They have been.
On that shit.
From what I understand, Rockstar basically said if you're using mods on GTA, even in single player, we reserve the right to ban you from playing multiplayer online.
Right.
To which I say, fuck you, Rockstar.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, that's like, I mean, actually, I kind of understand kind of where they're coming from, because what the big problem is, a lot of the GTA 5 mods, from what I've been reading about, have to use injectors in order to do what they do. And injectors are largely the main way most of the cheat mods work. So it's really hard to tell if a player is using... It's hard to differentiate the two. Kinda, sorta. If they were actually paying attention, they could, though, from what I understand. But that would be a lot of money and effort. It'd be more money and effort to do so, though. So it's easier to handle it this way. At least that's sort of the way. That's at least Rockstar's stated reasoning for it. Whether it's actually true or not, I'm not entirely certain because I'm not a programmer.
Right.
So, but I can sort of see sort of where they're coming from on it, but still, fuck you, Rockstar.
Yeah.
Still being kind of dicks about things. Because, you know, honestly, the concept of being able to drop a humpback whale on people amuses the living hell out of me.
Or the gun that shoots cars.
Yeah. Like, these are all hilarious. And, you know, honestly, I have a feeling...
absolutely show up in the next Saints Row as...
Yes, it's going to show up in the next Saints Row, absolutely, because the people in the Saints Row
knows their market.
The Saints Row people look at that and go, oh, well, fuck that. If Rockstar's objecting, then it's got to go in our game.
It's going in our game. It's going to be fun. It's going to be awesome. And you're not even going to have to mod for it.
Yep, I just summoned a blue whale to drop on somebody.
And a bowl of petunias, because fuck you.
Alright. Apparently, according to Azul, City of Titans had a milestone to showcase not too long ago, which is kind of awesome.
Awesome.
City of Titans are the people who did a Kickstarter to do, or basically doing an indie, trying to do an indie superhero MMO in the City of Heroes universe, effectively, since apparently they got the rights to that.
Oh, did they?
Apparently they actually were able to negotiate the rights to the IP.
Oh, awesome.
Which is great.
Maybe I can play my crab spider again.
I'm not 100% positive of that, but I know they made an announcement. They made an announcement regarding the IP and them trying to acquire it.
Right.
I don't know what the actual milestone on it is, though.
I'm so... I reserve absolutely... Here's the thing about City of Titans. I'm totally expecting that to end up being vaporware.
I do, too.
If it happens, awesome. I am on board day one.
Absolutely. I will find a way to be there.
Yeah. But if it doesn't, meh.
I applaud their attempt.
Yes, absolutely.
Because I wish I could have been the type of person been able to do that, because I'm not a programmer is my problem. I do not have the head for it.
Yeah,
I'm not. I'm actually pretty good with tech, but I'm not good with like coding. Is what I found. I actually started out in college as a computer science major. And I discovered very quickly I'm not good at programming. So I was like, I'm not going to keep doing this. I'm going to change my major. Of course, I proceeded to do the changes my major to the thing I was minoring in, which would, in theory, make sense. And but it was the minor that I found it enjoyable, but I wasn't very good at, as opposed to the side classes I was taking that I'm actively good at and enjoyed.
Right.
Yeah, it took me until after I took a year off from school, because my grades were slipping and I needed time off, to look back and go, why the fuck why the fuck is economics not my major? I do really well in the classes. I enjoyed all the classes. I like all the professors. Why am I a complete fucking moron?
Because you're a college kid and they are.
Yeah. So, you know, I went back.
I didn't used to have that opinion until I worked in a bar.
Right. So, you know, I went back to school. Yeah, after my year off. I changed my major. I proceeded to present my plan for completing my economics major in one academic year. My advisors looked at me like I was completely insane. It's like, you're going to be taking basically all economics classes. I was like, yep. You're going to burn out. Nope. And I didn't. I pulled it off. It's honestly one of my best my proudest accomplishments is completing a major that was not even a minor in an academic year. I just, you know, because the way I did well, and I'm very happy. I was very happy about that because my grades had. I was in a mess at that point. So yeah, sadly, I don't really do much with my economics degree. I do, but I've not recently. Largely,
it's almost though you went to college and discovered a different way of doing things once you got to real life, which is pretty much Like,
well, my problem with what my actual college degree is, I focused on economics theory, which ends up leading to two places, really. Academia and government.
Right.
I've already discussed that I'm not particularly interested in being a teacher. And, can you imagine me as a politician, Eric? Or as a political advisor?
That'd be kind of awesome. We should just tell this guy to fuck off.
I don't have the patience for teaching, let alone actually try to get things done there politically. But yeah, I eventually went back and went to business school and so when I actually do work, it's mostly doing data analysis for financial stuff.
Right.
That's sort of my side thing. I do contract work mostly.
Cool.
Which means I have long droughts. Because of the way yeah, anyways. Enough of that silliness. Let's get back to gaming. But at any rate, yeah, so... Yeah. What else have we been doing, though?
Let me see here. So I threw together... so I've been playing Hordes down at the friendly local game store on Thursdays. The Thursdays where I can be asked to leave the apartment after work.
Right.
And yeah, I've been having some success with my fare. I've got like a 50-50 scenario, win-loss ratio with them. But I learned something about Dr. Arcadius, one of the Pharaoh Warlocks, is that he is squishy as all fuck off. Mm-hmm. Like, I knew this, like, theoretically, but yeah, a Signar and Warjack sneezed at him and he died. That's how I lost the game. I was like, alright, snipe is a thing that exists for Signar.
Yeah!
I'm playing against Striker Prime, which means the wall of Bone Grinders is going to get knocked over.
Wow. It's been a long time since you played me, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been a really long time since I played Signar at all, honestly. The Earthquake knock shit over thing is just sort of course it's going to happen. That's what Striker does. He Earthquake kicks things to knock them over.
Yep.
He drop him pops. That's what he does.
Yep, that's what it's one of the things I loved about him.
Yep.
Especially once I fully, like, after playing Siege a few times, like, oh, so this is what Earthquake's even better at. I love Siege. I love Siege so much. He's a great character. He is a great character. But, at any rate, so that's cool.
Yeah, he's, also, his feat's really wacky.
Yeah.
It causes everything to frenzy. In his, all the friendly, war beasts in his battle group can frenzy. For those that don't know, frenzy means the war beast in question will immediately charge the closest target, friendly or enemy, and then try to eat it.
Also, you cannot transfer damage to it.
That doesn't matter because they frenzy and then still get this frenzy that happens during his turn does not affect whether they can activate later on in your turn,
right,
or whether they've already activated.
Yeah, that was but the unable to transfer damage thing was I kept trying to. I was during the Thursday game and my Thursday game and the Thursday role playing game, and they were fighting a war beast and it frenzied, and I was playing what frenzy did, and the players were like, "Why is this even remotely disadvantageous? Because if you set up a situation, it's always advantageous." Like, no, it's not. And I'm like,
so you can't transfer damage, and you only get one attack now.
Right. Oh, that's a big change.
That's a big, yeah. You only get one attack with your most powerful weapon. You don't get your full activation. All right,
well, that's good to know. But so, like they immediately attack the warlock without and it's like, okay, you hit him, and it's like, so does he transfer damage? No, because he can't transfer damage to a frenzied model. They're like, oh, that explains everything.
Yes,
like, yes, he's dead. They're like, oh, I'm like.
So yeah, so I used the feat in order to get a long range blitz on his colossal, and then I was like, oh wait, these guys are actually looking at my brigands. They're gonna eat my brigands. That was not what I wanted to do.
Right.
So yeah, he's a very tricksy caster, and I'm not surprised I lost my first game. Is what I'm saying. Although amusingly, speaking of frenzy, I was looking at the rules the other day in Unleashed for War Beasts and Warlocks, and so when you're playing a Warlock character in Unleashed, Iron Kingdoms Unleashed, the and your Warlock is disabled, there's a table you roll on for your War Beast, and there are a bunch of different things that can happen. It can just run off and cower. It can just immediately frenzy on the closest target. It can just start with swinging wildly or whatever is within reach. It can turn around and try to eat you.
Huh.
Yeah, that's like that's the worst possible thing you can roll, is that it will turn around and start trying to eat your disabled Warlock.
Interesting.
Because the idea is the psychic backlash of the Warlock being violently knocked unconscious briefly drives the War Beast completely insane. So it doesn't matter what kind of relationship you have with it, it might try to eat you because I love you so much, I will make you part of me forever. Oh. Or, just vengeance because you're a jerk to it. But
that's true. It's quite possible.
I mean, scorn are a thing.
Yeah, I would love to get back into doing tabletop wargaming, but I just don't have, as I mentioned before, I don't really have the space in my apartment to do painting.
Right.
And the nearest game store is, at least an hour.
Trek.
It's a trek and a half for me because,
Yeah,
I don't
you're all the way out in fucking Arlington.
Yeah. I don't have a car also, is the thing, so.
Yeah. It's easier for you to get to Pandemonium than it is to Hobby Bunker.
Yes, it is. Much easier. It involves one less transfer, for starters. Oi. Yeah, coincidentally.
Yeah.
See, I can get to Hobby Bunker. It's just it's a long trip, that's all.
Yeah.
That involves going the wrong fucking way for about a third of the trip. Like, seriously, I actually looked at the map. Like, there's a straight line, if I was driving, it would take me, no time at all to get there. Instead of, going basically into Boston and then back out to Malton.
Yeah. Well, that's part of the problem with public transit in general. There isn't really good lateral movement for the outskirts.
Absolutely. And there's a reason it's designed that way. And there's often bus routes that sort of circle through. The problem is that the bus routes I happen to be on don't intersect with the useful ones that get me there.
Yes.
Until I get all the way into Cambridge.
Yeah.
It's like, God.
Besides, Hobby Bunker's War Machine day is apparently Saturday during the day.
Yeah, fuck that noise.
Yeah. And it's like,
I may have other plans on those days.
I've got more important. I've got other things to do besides go to Hobby. Travel an hour to Hobby Bunker.
Right.
As much as I like that store, and I really like that store,
Yeah.
Like, seriously, Hobby Bunker is like my ideal hangout. I just wish it was closer.
Right.
It's literally like a hole in the ground. I love it.
So yeah. Other than that, I mean, I dusted off Pokemon recently, Pokemon Zeta, which is it's a fan game made in RPG Maker, which is amazing. The fact they managed to do that and make it into, in terms of gameplay, a Pokemon game is really impressive. The problem is the stories, the writing for the story is really fucking stupid. Let's make Pokemon
game is what you're saying.
No. Let's make Pokemon Grimdark. Wait, what the fuck?
Is it still like an 8-year-old running around in the woods
Yes!
fighting monsters?
Yes, it is! But, it's just really fucking stupid.
We will harvest the Pokemon souls to power our super nuclear death device.
Well, that's not your job. You're trying to stop people who are doing things like that. It's really fucking dumb. Also, it is not balanced for less experienced players, let's just put it that way.
Gotcha.
It's designed after a certain point for people who are really experienced with Pokemon, which is fine. The problem is, I'm not.
Yeah, I totally missed the Pokemon train.
I played Pokemon.
All I know about Pokemon has been acquired via osmosis from other people.
Right. I played Pokemon Blue, one of the original two ones. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it. apparently what you were describing is the plot to Pokemon XY.
Seriously? Harvesting Pokemon souls to power their Doomsday device. That is fucking awesome. That is stupidly awesome and awesomely stupid is what that is.
Yeah.
That manages to be both at once.
So I may try to find a way to do a different Pokemon game on stream. The nice thing about doing Pokemon Zeta or Omicron is that it's completely legal.
Yeah.
As opposed to
Nintendo will come down like a fucking ton of bricks on you if you try to do it on stream.
No, actually, it's as long as I try to. You can't. There are ways. They actually they only really pay attention to YouTube for some reason.
Okay.
And
I just know that Nintendo's got some sort of like crazy frenzied hate boner for like any kind of Let's Play.
Yeah, I know. It's weird.
Like, I don't understand Nintendo or how they do things. I really, really don't.
Alright, so apparently the ultimate weapon is a Pokemon that is an anti-Phoenix. It steals life force of everything around it as incontinence to revive itself.
Cool. I'll name him Fluffykins. I will not name him Snuffleupagus, for he will have killed and devoured the real Snuffleupagus and taken his mantle.
Aha.
Yeah, and then that's why you're playing Big Bird, wearing, like, Dark Souls armor. I can feel the look you're giving the computer screen.
Yeah? Eric? Never do this to my childhood again. Not fucking Sesame Street! Crying out loud, man. Oh. Well, alright. We had no viewer questions in email this week, so we didn't save time for it at the end of the show. So, if you do have viewer questions you'd like us to answer on the show, please do send them to us. Our email address is surlygrognards@yahoo.com. surlygrognards@yahoo.com. Or, if you'd like to post them on the forums, we do have forums, which you can find at mechagm.forumer.com. Or, if need be, you can hit me up on Twitter. My Twitter handle is @mechagm. If you got feedback for us, constructive criticism, that sort of thing, ways we can make the show better, things we're doing really well, etc., etc., same places, the email address, forums, I guess on Twitter if you really insist, or in the comment section of the videos. I forgot that. Knew I'd forget something. If you've got show topic suggestions, we love getting show topic suggestions.
We really do. Those are the best things. Because it prevents us from having to do this.
Yes. Means we can actually talk about an actual topic instead of us rambling on about,
whatever the fuck we're doing that day.
Yeah. So, please send us show topic suggestions. We really do appreciate them. It means we can talk about the things you want to hear about as opposed to just us rambling.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else? And also, we record the show every Monday night on twitch.tv/mechagm. We record on Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern. And I tweet out when the show's going to go live, so if you keep an eye on my Twitter, you'll be able to see when the show's going to go live. And I try to upload the recordings as soon as I can remember to do so. Because I often forget. Because I'm terrible about that sort of thing. I'm sorry. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you found the show entertaining, enlightening, or useful. Any of those things. At least I hope you had some fun with us being completely out of sorts and rambly and not making any goddamn sense. Because, God help me, I don't know if we ever make sense.
We probably don't.
Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope everybody had fun. If you watch the show on the recording on YouTube, hit like and subscribe. That way you know when new episodes do actually get uploaded. And that's gonna do it. Anything else, Eric, before we go?
Not really.
Good. So no more destroying my childhood imagery. Great, thank you. Good night, everybody.
God damn it.